ask a question?
Yes.
Aren't you unfairly blaming Latino immigrants for unemployment and crime in this country?
No, not at all. Look, I've proven to be right on that point. It's been a very strong point. We brought immigration up, illegal immigration up, and by bringing it up, it's the #1 topic in the United States right now. We had 15,000 people in Phoenix a week ago, and they were there because of the immigration problem. It was the largest crowd, I think, or just about the largest crowd so far of this cycle. And it was an amazing crowd. It was a great crowd. And I was very upset, too, that John McCain would criticize. He called them a bunch of crazies. That was an amazing crowd of people. Those were great Americans at that event. The fact that I brought up illegal immigration, and now everybody's apologizing to me because I happen to be right.
Well, a lot of Latino voters are not apologizing.
Well, excuse me, you look at the poll in Nevada.
They're calling you a racist. How do you remark?
A poll in Nevada just came out where I'm way #1 in Nevada with 28% of the vote. And I also won very easily the Hispanic vote with 30-something%, so that's good.
Your comments about John McCain. What? You mentioned that he's not a war hero.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said not a war hero was the phrase you used.
Let me explain something.
And if I may follow up after.
Let me just say something. I think John McCain's done very little for the veterans. I'm very disappointed in John McCain. If somebody's a prisoner, I consider them a war hero, other than Bergdahl. Bergdahl was a prisoner. I don't consider him a war hero. But if somebody's a prisoner, I would consider that person a war hero. But we have a lot of war heroes that weren't prisoners also. And we should give them some credit.
So
but you blamed him.
If John McCain is somewhat diminished as a result, you said it's perhaps exaggerated his war hero status as a result of being captured. What does it say about your...
No. John McCain has not done enough for the veterans. The veterans in this country are suffering. The veterans in this country are treated as third-class citizens. John McCain talks a lot, but he doesn't do anything. John McCain has not done enough for the veterans in this country.
But you said...
Let me explain something. Yeah. And when John McCain calls 15,000 people that showed up in Phoenix, Arizona to talk about illegal immigration, he calls them a bunch of crazies, he's doing a great disservice to this country.
But to finish,
you said
you did not respect him because he was captured. You said, I don't like
No, that's not the...
No, that is what you said, sir. So what are you trying to say?
Excuse me. If a person's captured, they're a hero as far as I'm concerned. Unless they're a traitor like Bergdahl. He was captured. He's no hero. But you have to do other things also. I don't like the job that John McCain is doing in the Senate because he's not taking care of our veterans. He should know better than anybody about treating veterans well. I see the veterans. I'm with the veterans all the time. Some of these people wait 4 or 5 days just to see a doctor. They sit in a reception room, which is dirty and filthy and disgusting, and they wait 4 or 5 days just to see a doctor, let alone get help.
Would you equally criticize other POWs then, who were also captured like McCain?
No, not at all. I consider them heroes. No, I consider them heroes.
What should we say about you then with your multiple student deferments during the same period and finally a medical deferment?
You should say what you say about millions of other people, I guess, right?
You said you didn't. You said John McCain you like people who didn't get captured.
No, I
That's
don't.
what you
I
said.
do like people that don't get captured. I like people.
Are
that
you
get
blaming
captured.
John McCain? Are you blaming John McCain for his capture?
I am saying that John McCain has not done a good job.
No, that's not what you said, and that's not my question. Are you blaming John McCain for his capture?
I'm not blaming John McCain.
Why would you say you like people who doesn't get captured?
He gets captured. He gets captured.
Why would you say you like people who don't get captured?
They're brave men because they were in the field.
Why would you say you like people who don't get captured? It's a simple question. Answer it.
Oh, I do. Why? The people that don't get captured, I'm not supposed to like? I like the people that don't get captured, and I respect the people.
Why would you say that in the context of John McCain?
Excuse me. I like the people that don't get captured. You have many people that didn't get captured. I respect them greatly. You have people that got captured. I respect them greatly also. Why? I'm not supposed to respect the people that
Are you suggesting that John McCain did something to lead to his capture?
No, of course not.
Why would you say what you said?
Any other questions?
It's a simple question. It's a simple question. Answer the question. Answer the question.
You were talking about China today. Are you worried that your rhetoric could lead to a trade war with that country?
Well, China certainly doesn't want a trade war because it would put China out of business. If China had a trade war, that's the worst thing that could happen. People don't understand what's going on with China. People don't understand how serious a problem we have with China. China's taking our jobs, they're taking our money, they're then loaning the money back to us. We have right now, we owe China $1.4 trillion. They take our business, they take our jobs, and then they loan us money, and we pay interest.
Do you apologize to McCain?
No, not at all. I
How
didn't
much
say
is
that.
your
Why
own money?
would you rule out a
How much of your
third-party
own money
run?
is willing to spend in the campaign?
I would say whatever it takes.
More than
I
100 million?
mean,
100
we'll
million?
see. We'll see what happens.
Last election was 1 billion.
I don't know, whatever it takes. I mean, if I'm doing well, if I continue to do well, right now I'm leading in all the polls. If I continue to do well, I'll spend a lot of money. If I'm not doing well, I mean, I understand that. But if I continue to do well, I'll spend whatever it takes. And the question keeps getting asked about independent. My focus is running as a Republican. Now, will I rule it out? I'm not going to rule anything out. But my total focus is running as a Republican because the best chance we have of beating the Democrats and Hillary, who would be a disaster. She was the worst Secretary of State in the history of the United States, in my opinion. She would be a disastrous person. The best chance we have is that if I win as a Republican. Whoops, are you okay? Yeah, fine. Are you all right? Don't worry.
Mr. Trump, we heard more from you about God today. We heard more from you about God today than at any other point in your run. What do you say to people who think you're pandering to the Christian right today by all of a sudden being religious?
Well, David, I mean, I have a great relationship. I have, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. I've been a long-time churchgoer. I told you Dr. Norman Vincent Peale was my minister. And, what else can I say? I'm not pandering, I'm just telling you.
When's the last time, when did
Do you want the atheist vote?
No, I'm not going to rule out. I'm going to say that I think it's highly unlikely. I think that the best chance we have of winning is if I get the nomination, I will beat Hillary Clinton. Now, I can't stress this. I won a poll in North Carolina the other day by a big margin. But last night a poll came out from Nevada, the state of Nevada, very important state, great state. Not only did I win, it was a huge victory. It was by many, many points over the number 2 person. But something that was almost more important, because I've been saying it, I'm going to win the Hispanic vote because I created jobs. I will win the Hispanic vote. And I won in the state of Nevada the Spanish vote. I won the Hispanic, the Latino vote in the state. And I won in a landslide. Now the poll came out. I guess they can give you the results. My people have the results. But it was a really tremendous margin of victory. And I've been saying from the beginning, I have a great relationship with Hispanics. I will win. I'm not talking about 30% or 28% or what Romney got, which was not much. I will win the Hispanic vote.
There are Trump pinatas being hit right now. What do you think about that?
It's
That's
fine.
okay? What does that say about
And
how
there are
this
also
is
people calling me all the time saying you're right. Do you know the Hispanics that are in this country, so many of them are on my side because they did it the old-fashioned way. They did it, they're in the country legally. They came into the country legally, all right?
Do you support that?
And they don't, I totally support that. Oh, I'm totally in favor of legal immigration. I'm opposed to illegal immigration. And I took a lot of abuse the first week, and now many of those people are apologizing.
Jeb Bush criticized your rhetoric of divisiveness.
No, Greg, he said that my tone wasn't nice.
He said
We
you
don't
were
have
spewing
enough time for
vitriol.
tone. Let me tell you, whatever he wants to say.
Rick Perry said it's
He
Democrat.
doesn't have the energy.
Mr. Trump.
He doesn't have the energy. And Rick Perry, by the way, did a horrible job as governor on the border because he could have done a lot more. In fact, if you look at the new governor who's doing a good job, he's putting things in place right now that will create a real border. And Rick Perry could have done that, and he didn't do that. Rick Perry should be ashamed of himself for having done such a bad job on the border. Yes, sir.
Mr. Trump, how will you be able to unify America?
I think I'm going to have a very unified America. I think everybody's going to come together. We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to bring jobs back. We're going to bring manufacturing back. And you saw, I get the standing ovation. With people, oh, well, is this your group? Well, it is my group. I get the standing ovation. I get criticized because I use the word damn. And I said, people, I mean, it's not such a bad word. The place stands up and gives me a stand. They're tired of political correctness. They're tired of being pushed around because we have people that are incompetent leading this country. We have people that are incompetent leading this country. And that audience, and you saw it from the reception I got, that audience is tired, just like everybody else in the country, is tired of being pushed around with incompetent trade deals and everything else.
Mr. Trump, religious. Do you want the atheist vote too?
I don't know about the atheist vote. They might not like me. I'm not so sure.
Bernie Sanders wants to debate Republicans before the general election. Will you debate Bernie Sanders?
I know it's something I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump,
Mr.
Trump, just
you
like
should
also
also win in
compare you-
Iowa, but since January, Governor Scott Walker has been leading the polls here. How do you beat a guy like
Well, I'm
Scott Walker?
second in the last poll,
How do you-
and very close.
how
Well, I
do you
don't know.
beat-
Look,
how do you-
Scott is a good guy. I like Scott Walker. He's a good guy. He's got the neighboring states, which is an advantage. He's a person that I like. He was up in my office 3 months ago giving me an award. He gave me an award. So Scott Walker likes me too, I think. Maybe he won't like me as of a couple of days ago. Who knows? But I like him. I don't know. I think I'm going to win. Look, I'm in second place, and not far off first place. You saw that, the most recent poll.
So how do you get
I think I'll go to first place.
Mr. Johnson, why did you not serve
No,
in
I'm not. I don't lose too often in life. I want to tell you.
Why did you not serve in the Vietnam War? Can
Because
you
I was
explain
going to
that
college,
decision?
had student deferments, and it's a long time ago, had student deferments, then ultimately had a medical deferment because of my feet. I had a bone spur.
Why did you not want to go serve though?
Well, I have to be honest, I
Lots
was
of
not
other
a big fan,
Americans
excuse
were.
me.
Yeah.
I had many friends who went to Vietnam. I had many friends that didn't because they had student deferments and other deferments. I was not a big fan of the Vietnam War. I wasn't a protester, but the Vietnam War was a disaster for our country. The Vietnam War, we got nothing. What did we get out of the Vietnam other than death? We got nothing. I was not a fan of the Vietnam War. Just like if you look at Reuters, and I'm a very militaristic type person. I believe strongly in the military. But I said we shouldn't be going to Iraq because it's going to destabilize the Middle East. Reuters, 2004, July, headline, you saw it, headline, Trump, stay out of Iraq. Don't do it, you're going to destabilize. And then Iran will take over Iraq and the oil, and other people, worse than Saddam Hussein, and I said this very loudly, will take over the rest of the oil. You know who that is? ISIS. So ISIS has the oil, Iran is going to be taking over Iraq. Exactly, if you read that article, you would say it's exactly as Donald Trump predicted. Now, all of the great pundits of the world said, go in, go in, go in. All these guys, they're critical. And now they're all trying to backtrack. I backtracked at the beginning, and even before it started, but I backtracked at the beginning. I knew it was going to destabilize. These two countries were always at war. And they'd go 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet, then they'd rest. And they'd fight for years and years and years. Once we decapitated the one country, so now Iran is going to take over Iraq. Iraq has the second largest oil fields, oil reserves in the world, and it's a disgrace what took place. But I was there in 2004. I watch all of these Republicans, and Hillary, who voted for it, by the way, I watch all of them trying to distance. It took Jeb Bush 5 days before he was able to answer the question. You know why? He has pollsters. I can afford pollsters much easier than anybody. I don't believe in pollsters. I say what I want to say. But Jeb Bush went out, took him 5 days to give the correct answer. He gave like 5 bad answers, and then 5 days before he gave the correct answer on Iraq.
Should the U.S. strike Iran as an alternative to the Iran deal?
No, I just heard, and this can't be possible, but I just heard this a half hour ago. The Iran deal is a disaster. I mean, literally a disaster. The Iran deal was negotiated by incompetent people that have no talent for negotiation. It's a huge win for Iran and Russia and other places that are going to benefit. Oh, wait, a big, big disadvantage for us. Tremendous. And for Israel, it's a disaster. And for us, it's a disaster. I said, why did we get the hostages back? They said it was too complicated. You couldn't say, give me the hostages. Too complicated. So I just learned, and I don't know if this is true or not, you'd have to tell me, that we gave up a scientist from Iran. I just heard this a little while ago, just before I went on to speak. I just heard that we gave Iran back a scientist, a nuclear
What would you do
scientist.
as president of Iran?
I'd be so much tougher. I would have done a much different deal. I would have doubled and tripled up the sanctions, and I would have made a great deal.
Would you have negotiated
On
with
Jeb
the
Bush
person?
as well, he had also compared you to President Obama in terms of divisiveness. What's your response?
That's the first time I've heard that one. That's the
negotiated with
first
the
time
president?
I've ever been compared to Obama. Jeb Bush did that? Look,
He said that.
Jeb Bush does not have the energy to be president, okay? I'll say it. He doesn't have the energy to be president. Now, he's a nice person, I guess, but I don't care about nice people anymore. Our country is being run by incompetent people. Jeb Bush does not have the energy to be president.
Have you ever
Any
read?
questions?
Have you ever?
About a third party run?
No questions there anymore.
Sorry, what
Yeah, go ahead.
criteria would you
Who are you
use to
with?
decide with MSNBC? I'm just sorry.
Oh, that's good.
But
I don't even want to waste
Not to have an idea
What's the
what's coming
purpose
here.
of wasting
Well,
my time?
what criteria would you use to decide on a third-party run? Is if you feel disrespected by the party you lead?
No,
Or is it
I don't
any-
want to do a third-party run. I think it would be a hard thing to do. I think it's something that's very doable because I see that Hillary certainly doesn't have great support. You look at what's happening with Bernie Sanders, and if you look at Jeb Bush, of course, I'm leading, so I guess we're not supposed to be looking at Jeb Bush, but because I'm leading. He's actually in third place now, according to the last poll, with Walker being in second. But one of the things we have to do is bring our country together. You people at MSNBC, the Fox people, the CNN people, we have to bring everybody together. And you know, the one thing I don't understand, I have people that meet me very harshly. And all I want to do is make the country great again. I think everybody wants that. So I don't understand the level of anger and the level of everything.
Does attacking a POW do that?
I didn't do that. I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
You
do that.
suggested
I don't
that he
have great
wasn't-
respect for John McCain because he's done a lousy job, in my opinion, in the Senate, taking care of the veterans.
Have you read
He
accounts?
better
Have
than
you read
anybody.
accounts of
He
his time
better
in
than
captivity?
anybody.
Have
Should
you read
done a better
accounts?
job.
Have you read accounts of his time in captivity?
It's irrelevant for what you're asking.
I'm asking a
Last
simple
question, guys,
question.
gotta go.
Which foot?
What?
Which foot did you have the bone spur in?
You'll look it up in the records. I know it's in the records.
Donald Trump.
Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump.
And as part of the 1%, how could you possibly represent, let alone relate to the remaining
I think
99%
that the
of
people I
America?
relate to most is the middle class. The middle class in this country is being decimated. I will bring back a very strong, very powerful, really a wonderful middle class. And just to finish, I have great love and respect for our veterans, and we've got to take care of our veterans. Our veterans are really suffering in this country. They're being treated so badly. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
How are you?